Okay, so let's edit this photo in Photoshop using my actions. That's where my layers panel went. All right, so this is where you get actions. If you don't have it, go to Photoshop, window, actions. Okay. All right, so this is the one you purchased. Let's see. So we have lavender warm, cool, and additional effect, contrast, brightening, and sun. And those are also additional effects because in Photoshop, you don't get to play with the toggles as easily as you would in Lightroom. So I like to, every little step, I like to make a little bit, like a little preset so I can kind of change the opacity layer. Like, so it's kind of if I'm playing with the toggles a little bit. Okay, let's just get it started. Um, okay, so let's see. You first probably want to decide whether you want your lavender to be warm or cool. I like mine a little bit warm, so let's just do this. Okay, voila. All right. Okay. Leave it 100% so you can see the effects. And let's and then remember, don't work on this layer, work on your masking layer. And if you haven't, press D to change for example, if you're on this layer, see it's all colored, press D to change it to black and white. And if it's white on top, press X or just toggle this back and forth to make sure the black is on top. Press this. Now let's use the gradient tool. Oh, I don't know why get on top. And pick this one. This is your foreground into transparency. So if you do white on top, this is what happens. Okay. So we're just gonna just get the sky back like that. It's very fast and quick way to get the sky back. It's okay if this part is gone. We can get it back later, right? And now we go to B. All right, B is the brush tool. It's this one right here, the first one. All right, and then we just move it up a little bit, and we just make sure this is still black, and you work on this layer. And if you have any question, let me know because this is not a Photoshop lesson. It's just a quick way to demonstrate how I use my brush, not brush, actions to edit my photos. So again, if you have Photoshop related problem, just ask away. I'll try my best. Okay, so voila, this is what you get. Right now it's at 100%. I can lower it down. I think 100% is good. And if you want, you can multiply this layer to not multiply. Sorry, to run the action again. To make it a little bit like a darker, but you probably want to lower it a little bit more. So you just add a factor. I just remember we've got the back, so let's delete this and brush. And this time, make sure the white is on top. This part of white is top. Okay. And, get this back in, and black. Erase this. Erase this. Like I said, I'm just doing it really quickly. All right, so you can just leave it to this, or you can just like layer it, and it's just a continuous one. And to give it more color. So, all right, you can sometimes I like to layer warm and cool together. You can layer also cool. Yeah. The funny thing is that once you layer whatever mask you did, it kind of carries over, so you don't have to do the mask again unless you made a mistake like here. And going back again. So this one sometimes you want to leave it at really high opacity so you can see where mistake, and I just pinned on the wrong layer. Let's start this one. And see, I have this opacity at very high. You want it to around the edges you want to blend in, so I will just go really low. I think 14% is usually my go-to number. I like to think I have always liked even numbers, so even when I'm editing photos and play with the dials, I always go with even numbers. All right, so okay, so all right, we're not gonna leave it like this, of course. So you want it to go down, down, down. So this is 0. This layer has no opacity, and it's just whatever this color is. And then we want to bring it to 0. Just slowly bring it back to the ideal color that we wanted. And alright, so let's try 14 or maybe even 10. 14 is good. Alright, so this is a little bit warm added with a little bit cooler color. Alright, next we want to do add contrast. This adds a nice, you see before and after. This adds a nice contrast to our photo, but it kind of wash out the sky. So what we do, we grab the gradient gradient tool and make that black. And just let's get back our sky. Cool. And the rest are just additional effects that will make your editing in Photoshop a lot easier. Just play with the toggles. Okay. So this is brighten. Right, since this photo is already very bright, we probably don't want to apply any brighten layer. I see a lot of highlights and stuff that I want to get rid of. So we want to jump to the part that says fix highlight in the roundup. You see that immediately make the photo a lot less bright. Right. So I like how it's making the sky look. But myself and the thing looks really dark. All right. So 50% is golden number. 40, 50, 20, 25, those are all, and 14, those are all good numbers if you want to try opacity. All right. And I kind of lost that sky, so if I want the sky, I mean, if you do like the sky to be more fainted in the background, then leave it to that. But if you do want to bring out the crisp sky that like I had before, just run the fix highlight one more time, you see, and just do the opposite gradient, just like erase the bottom part of it and just leave the sky be. right? But in this image, I think the sky is better left, like very mellow and soft in the background. All right, so we can add some left and right, very self-explanatory. Yeah. So that's sun, and then we can now multiply this layer to add a more like harsh sun effect. Okay, we can just use one layer, then we can make it 100% or less. Okay. And I'm gonna skip the brightening because the photo is already pretty bright. And pastel also is to fix photos that has a really dark backlight situation. We use pastel to add that dreamy kind of look. Like I said again, this photo does not need it. And if I do that, I'll probably use fixed highlight one more time to get, like I said, you can just like use the action for as many layers as you like. In Lightroom, it's all about quickly editing a photo to the best you can without spending extra time. But in Photoshop, it's all about, I mean, at least for me, it's all about creating art, and I like to spending time doing that. Add color. Like I said, I always leave it at 100% opacity, just so that you can see where the effect is, but please don't leave it at 100%, always adjust it. And when you adjust that, go to 0, because if I do start at 0, then you will say, where are the effects? So I always do 100%, but when you adjust that, go to 0%, and then just slowly push it back. I think that's pretty good, right? I'm going to do 20. 20 is my go-to number. All right, and fix red. I don't use it very often. I just throw it in there just in case someone wants to fix the lavenders a little bit more to their liking. So what this does is it's called fixed red. It's actually fixed green. It's actually taking a few of the green out and then make it less green and a more natural looking color. So what you do is you just come and click that. Like I said, it's not a Photoshop tutorial, so I'm just gonna go through this really quick. And, like that. So you see the before and after, right? Here. And then if you want to, you can run that and contrast one more time to make it much brighter if you want to. And then with layers, the best part about layers, you can just hop back to any part of your step and then fix it. For example, the sun. Is there a sun effect? Yes, there is. If it's too bright, you can lower it a little bit. I'll bring it a little bit like that. And if the lavenders are too purpley, we can get rid of one and then lower this. Oops, what happened? Yep. We'll keep it high like this, right? And one, oh, because I applied the added red, sorry. Right, so now that's more natural. So you can do that, or if you want to color lavender, probably not that. But if you want it to look like this, see, that's very easy. Oops, worked on the wrong layer. So always make sure you click on the right layer when you want to work at something. Alright, so I think that's good. And if we make this layer a little bit, they're doing constructions downstairs, so you'll occasionally hear power drills. Just ignore that. So it could be like this or like that, okay? So we can delete that layer if you want to. And then we can get rid of that fixed highlight or just make it much more subtle. Pastel layer, we can get rid of that because that's for when the photos are really dark. Actually adds a nice contrast to it, right? And the brighten also. You can use brighten, probably not pastel. It kind of adds a really nice color to it. And pastel as well. So if you like it, if you like your photos nice and airy and bright, this is perfect for it. If you don't, then don't add too many brightening layers, and then you will be fine. I want to erase the sky a little bit. I want to keep the sky. And you see when you do add contrast one more time, it adds like a nice crispness in the photo. And oops. And yep, I think this is about it. And let me bring the layers back so we can see the overall photos. And this is about it. And you can see before. And after. Move this in a group so it's easier to do before and after. And if you wanted to, if you don't want it to be this much, you can just move the whole folder, lower the whole folder's opacity a little bit down. So this way you can see before and after how it looks. Okay. And, yep. And I think this is about it. Have fun